think it is absolutely important.
President Barack Obama is on the offense, proposing new tax cuts for businesses and spending on infrastructure projects to boost the economy and create jobs.
Thank you, Ohio. Thank you, Cleveland.
At a rally near Cleveland, Ohio, Mr. Obama said Americans are frustrated and anxious over high unemployment, and he accused opposition Republicans of using that fear for political gain.
A lot has changed since I came here in those final days of the last election. But what hasn't changed is the choice facing this country. It's still fear versus hope, the past versus the future. It's still a choice between sliding backward and moving forward. That's what this election's about. That's the choice that you will face in November.
The president lashed out at House Republican Minority Leader John Boehner several times. Boehner is from Ohio and earlier blasted Mr. Obama's economic policies in a speech in Cleveland.
President Obama should ask for and accept the resignations of the remaining members of his economic team, starting with Secretary Geithner and Larry Summers, the head of the National Economic Council.
Boehner has called on the president to extend former President George W. Bush's tax cuts for all Americans, regardless of income. Mr. Obama wants to maintain the tax cuts, but not for yearly incomes above $250,000. Democrats now hold a majority in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. But Boehner is hoping to become the new Speaker of the House if Republicans win a majority of seats in November. David Mark is senior editor of the online and print news agency Politico. He says President Obama's economic initiatives are not likely to have a big impact on the November elections, because even if Congress passes them, they would not be enacted for months.
The problem for the president is that his proposals would not go into effect right away. So even if they are popular, say some of the business depreciation, tax cuts, some of the other measures that would cut down on taxes, they would not take effect for many months if they were passed at all. So I think that's a real problem for the president. He is stuck with these high unemployment rates, 9.5%, 9.6%, GDP stagnant. Economic figures overall are very tough right now, and as long as that's the case, it's going to be the president's problem.
William Galston of the Brookings Institution agrees.
People have made up their minds about the economy, they've made up their minds about their own circumstances, and typically they've made up their minds about the president. Which is not to say that between this election and 2012 that people can't change their minds.
But for now, President Obama's focus is on this congressional election, now less than 2 months away, rather than a second term 2 years from now. Cindy Saine, VOA News.
That's enough to circle the world 6 times. That's a lot of rope.